All right, welcome back to the channel. I'm here today with some very exciting news. One of my closest friends, one of the members of our little group, The House, has actually just won the first RBET of season 3. I'm here with OG, name OG99 on Discord, Daemon on Dueling Book. But yeah, you just won RBET today. Literally just happened a few minutes ago. You're on this deck we see before. So this is Value Turbo, and it is basically at this point, it's kind of hard to deny that Value Turbo is the best deck in Edison format. It has won literally like 15 tournaments in the last 365 days. It's kind of absurd, but why don't you introduce yourself a little bit? How long have you been playing Edison format, all that stuff, so we can get acquainted with you?
Yep. So I've been playing Edison format for about 2 years now. I got back into retro YGO with a couple of friends, namely the house, and everyone's been helping me get better and better. And slowly, I started off with Black Wings, and because I thought that was the best deck at the time, because if you're not going to play to win, then I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, you're a tier whore. Everyone knows. So in our group of friends, Gary OG, he's known to be the guy that will just play whatever the best is in everything. So like, for example, in Dragon Ball Fighters, a game that he plays with Kenny and Cairo, True Hero, he plays Lab Coat when she was like the best character in the game.
She's still one of the best characters in the game.
Yeah, but at one point she was like tier 0, no question, 0 diff. Like, and they will be complaining about
tier 0 and a cast of like 44 is crazy.
That is actually wild. That's some Meta Knight shit, but his cast wasn't as big. Yeah. So you like playing the best deck, basically, is like your thing. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that is a totally acceptable thing. I've done it for a lot of formats. Some formats I choose to blatantly play what I think is the best deck, even if I know that something else might be better. But yeah, you stick to your guns with this. So this is Value Turbo. Everyone knows what Value Turbo looks like, but you did make a couple of tech choices in your build. So you're playing Spear Reaper, Deck Devastation Virus, Necro Gardener, and interestingly enough, you're not playing Charge, you're not playing Chaos Sorcerer, but you are playing Return. So I think that is interesting because one, people don't usually main deck Devastation Virus in Value Turbo, but you've topped with Value Turbo 2 other times already, right?
Right. So in the past, and Deck Devastators, and I believe the other tournament was
the
some
EWCQ,
other tournament.
Maybe?
Yeah, it was EWCQ from the Format Library. Shout out to them. All my deck lists have been historically deck DDV in the main because it's been popularized in the past, and other famous duelists have mained deck Devi.
Yeah, a true hero. But yeah, I think deck Devi in the main deck is very good. So I often talk to you about frogs because everyone knows I'm a frog player or whatever. And I'm one of the people who is a big advocate of DDV is better in game 1 than it is in games 2 and 3 against frogs. I believe that with my whole chest. I think it just makes sense mathematically, right? Because in game 1, the frog player has like Infernal Prodigy, Junk Synchron, and any other weird text they might be playing that all get hit by Deck Devastation Virus. And then after game 1, Battle Fader is another one. That's a really big one if they play that. But after game 1, they side out a lot of the cards that get hit by Deck Devi. Obviously, the Frog engine stays intact. Like, you're going to still be playing Substitute, Swap Frogs, Treeborns, and usually do Frogs too. Unifrog is also very good because it's searchable out to like Whirlwind and stuff like that. But after game 1, the non-Frog 1500 and lower monsters tend to get sided out, and Deck Devi gets a lot worse. In fact, and we'll get to this later, but you did use Deck Devi in the finals, and it did nothing. It actually did nothing. It was game 2, and you Deck Devi'd him on like basically the first turn, and it literally hit nothing but a Treeborn Frog, which is the equivalent of hitting actually nothing. So that kind of just, it's anecdotal, of course, but it also, to me, is further cementing that I do feel right, and that DDV gets a lot worse after game 1. Other than that, though, so why do you play Spear Reaper and Necro Gardener specifically?
So currently, this deck list is inspired by James Art. Shout out to that person. Because it's currently running a 2 hamster, 3 Kaius, because I feel that Kaius is probably one of the best monsters, like top 5 in the format. So you want to try to summon him as much as possible. As for the tech choices, Spear Reaper, Necro Gardener, and the return, I feel that those cards are becoming standard at this point, because we're slowly getting to the point where every value list is going to be the same, except for if you're going to decide if you want to play 2 hamster or 1 charging hamster.
Yeah, and the Chaos Sorcerer. So there's like,
yes,
there's kind of like 2 conventions of Value Turbo deck lists or players out there right now. There's the I want to play Sorcerer and charge the Light Brigade build, and then there's the I don't want to play those two cards and I instead play double hamster and like, you know, your choice between Reaper or Necro. I'm not used to seeing people play literally all of it. Like you're playing Necro, Reaper, double hamster, and triple Caius. I think that the triple Caius makes sense with the double hamster because it, you know, the bodies. And then the return without the Chaos Sorcerer is also like, I mean, return is just broken. Like it's just a broken card. I feel like there was a period where Value Turbo just wasn't playing return, and I don't know how that was ever a thing, but it lasted for a while, and now I just feel like every build should be playing this card because it is an auto win in his deck, and it is literally one of the best cards in the entire format. Actually, like not even just in Value Turbo, but in Diva Hero, and any deck that plays it is basically one of the best cards in the game and one of the best cards in the deck. In terms of your side deck, very standard. You know, double DD Crow, double Faustina. Faustina solos like most of the decks that are weird, like Frogs and Amaryllis and all of that stuff. And then you have Mind Crush, which is for
Dragon Turbo.
Makes sense. Second DDV. Snowman Eater for your Diva Hero beat matchup, Diva Hero matchup, Diva whatever Hero beat deck. Typically Snowman is good against. Lightning Vortex. So that I'm not privy to if people are siding Lightning Vortex and Value Turbo. Is that a thing? Like or
so in a couple lists that I've seen so far, Lightning Vortex has popped up in there. It's mainly for the Amaryllis matchup because that matchup is actually kind of difficult.
Yeah, it makes sense because Titanio, a lot of your stuff targets, actually like a lot of your stuff targets, and Lightning Vortex clears everybody. So I can see like a Lightning Vortex plus Faustina play, you know, being the game against that deck. Lightning Vortex is also good against Dragon Turbo. And because you're playing like, you know, Necro Gardener and stuff, you have a lot of discard outlets between Triple Value, Plague Spreader Zombie, you know. So Vortex is rarely going to be discarding a real card. You have a lot of graveyard cards that you want to discard. So why don't we talk a little bit about your matchups throughout the Swiss rounds? What did you play against in Swiss? Because one of them, spoiler alert with this, but one of them is also, you played against me in round 4. You eliminated me from the tournament. And it was 2-0. I was playing Hero Frogs. I was playing a spicy build, like a very, very spicy build with like Malicious and Plasma and shit. Just because like, I've been having fun with Frogs lately and just playing like over 40 cards, putting a bunch of things in it. Like you guys know, I play like Dandelion and Future Fusion and all these other things. Makes the deck really weak to Oppression, which, you know, is definitely one of the best cards, but it's a really fun build. But I got absolutely fucking scraped by you. So why don't we go through your matchups throughout the tournament?
So round 1, played against Monkey the Frog. That was a 2-0. I just happened to draw Fossil Data and just killed him game 2. It was pretty much easy. Just turn off all of his special summon options.
Yeah.
Round 2, playing against Black Wings. Guy named Master Riku, who appreciated my Discord profile. Shout out to that person. Round 3, it was Jake XO. Historically good zombie player and was playing zombies again this time. And I lost 1-2 in a very close set. And watching that replay over and over again, I definitely had some plays that could have changed the outcome of the game.
Yeah, we did a replay analysis, me, you, and other members of the house, but we looked at it and we're like, I think this game was winnable, but it is a little hard the way you had to win it. But it was a very simple thing where you had to use Armageddonite to send Plague Spreader Zombie earlier in the game and play to like what the situation was at the time. But because you're playing against zombies, obviously it's very scary to send a Plague Spreader Zombie to the grave. But in context with the Trap Dust Shoot, you can make sure that he doesn't have Zombie Master to do a combo and all that stuff. So it wasn't like the easiest thing to see, but when we watched it back, we did determine that the game was 100% winnable with the hand and the cards that you drew. And that's one of the things about Yu-Gi-Oh that I love, especially Edison format, is like when you watch a replay, you can see a path to victory a lot of the times. Now, I do always want to say that some games are not winnable outside of hindsight. Like, you know, a lot of games are winnable only if you do like some super hindsight bias bullshit where you're like, oh yeah, if I like did this exactly and I played this exact way, I would have won. But it's like, bro, are you really realistically playing like that in a game where you don't see all of the cards? Because it's easy when you watch a replay and you just see everything, right? Like, you know, it's easy to be like, oh yeah, like don't play into Torrential right here. But like, bro, when you're actually dueling, you're like, I don't think he has it, so I'm going to do this. And
yeah,
so
we're going to talk about that later when and when things get dire, you make misplays that you never thought you would have made.
Oh yeah, yeah, we're definitely going to talk about that. So okay. Continuing. So you played Jake. You lost to Jake, right?
Yep, I lost to Jake. And regarding like replays, it is the number one thing to improve. Always review them. Always, no matter, even if you won, even if you lost, there's always something to take away from it. Always.
True. Then round 4, you played
round 4.
Yep.
I played
Now,
Frazier Smith.
this tournament was over 200 people, and Gary and I are like, again, we're very close friends. We literally talk every single day, like every single day for the last fucking, I don't know how many years, but every single day we speak. And I was like, oh, we actually play each other. No, you told me that we play each other because I was just chilling.
Yeah, I was so flabbergasted. It was like, out of 200 people, really?
Yeah.
You?
Yep, we were both X1 in round 4, and we had to play each other. So one of us was basically eliminated, and it was me. You got me out of here real quick. You dropped that dark arm on me twice, and that was it. So quick scrape there. Yep. Then round 5, you played against
the mirror match.
Okay, a mirror match, and then 6, 7, and 8. What was it?
6 was Trap Dragons. Round 7 was DV Hero, and then round 8 was Black Wings.
Okay, so moving on to top 8, we actually have some replays here because your top 8 games were insane.
As any Edison format game should be.
Yes, as any Edison game should be. I love that. You played against Rodnak, who is the frog goat. He is the god of frogs, and he's on plant frogs. He actually went undefeated day 1, so he was a perfect 7-0 day 1. But yeah, he's on plant frogs, which is a deck that he recently has been popularizing, him and Leo Baca. So Leo is like a mentee of Rodnak, who's been training him in the ways of this type of frog deck. But this build is very interesting, and this matchup is also very, very difficult.
So shout out to Rodnak, my demon, who's now conquered, so no more of that.
Yeah, Rodnak there have been multiple tournaments where Rodnak has literally gotten you out of there. Like, he's been the bane of your existence. So let's see how this goes. He wins the die roll, so you lose the die roll on top 8. Your hand is not bad, though. You do have Trap Dust Shoot, which Trap Dust Shoot against frogs is, like, absolutely insane.
I think it pretty much counters him going first.
Yes. So right here, Mirror Force is not set because I don't really like setting Mirror Force turn 1, especially against frogs. It seems like such a waste, and you don't really want to play into a card like Heavy Storm. On top of all of that too, Bottomless is used when a Monarch comes down. Mirror Force can be used after they establish a board, so like Absolute Zero or a Monarch or whatever. You can like set the Mirror Force once it's established. So it's usually good to hold Mirror Force until you need it, as opposed to putting it down turn 1. So I do agree with you holding it. It's just that unfortunately he had the exact way to punish you not setting Mirror Force, which is he has Unifrog in hand, so he's able to do this play, which Mirror Force would have punished the shit out of this. So, again, this is what I mean by hindsight, though, right? Because in hindsight, you'd be like, oh, well, you know, I would have set Mirror Force, and then, yeah, the game would obviously be a lot different, but...
Right. And anyone who says, like, oh, I would have set Mirror Force and he would not punish, like, you could have also got punished the other way, too.
Yeah, they could have just had Heavy Storm, and then you just get you get ruined by Heavy Storm there. So
and that is the format. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, and the rest of this game is just kind of like, it's rough. It is a rough game. You do make a Goyo Guardian here, but I believe he's gonna like top deck Akai's because he doesn't have it right now. But I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I remember him top decking Akai's. Yep.
There it is. Yeah. So you can still exchange Kai's for free, and it's just kind of like, all right, well. Yeah, so this situation is really bad. Interesting that he could have gone just tribute the Tremor Frog for Caius and banished the Goyo attacked over the...
Oh, he couldn't have because Soul Exchange.
No, I'm saying like he didn't have to Soul Exchange though, right? He could have just gone tribute Tremor Frog, summon Caius, and then banish Goyo, attack the Caius, and hold Soul Exchange. Like he doesn't have to use Soul Exchange here is what I'm saying. Yeah, because like he doesn't do anything with this. It's just kind of sitting there. So I'm actually curious of why he used the Soul Exchange, because he gets rid of both monsters the same way. It's not like you had a back row, right? Like, there's nothing that you could have...
I did have Necrogarna engraved.
Okay, so...
Always prompting him to do that.
Okay, that's what it is. So it's the Necrogarna. See, and this is a good point to call this out. So Necrogarna is absolutely insane. It literally forced him to play differently, because if you did not have Necrogarna, he would have been able to hold his Soul Exchange. But just because you have the Necrogarna, he literally has to play differently. So that's it's already doing something, and you didn't even use it. Like you didn't even use the Necrogarna, and it's actually just giving value, which is kind of crazy.
As long as it was there.
Yeah. This is a really bad situation. You guys can see where this is going. The Rise is set up, and you've already got Wing Blast. So this is something that I wanted to kind of briefly speak on, but yeah, this game's over. So Ryza and Wing Blast together is like a god combo. It is very old Perfect Circle stuff, but it translates into Edison, which is like 4 years later. The Plant Frog deck plays a lot of discard traps. I'm pretty sure Ronick plays like triple Wing Blast, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's also playing triple Ryza, which that combo, if you go in phase like Wing Blast their back row and then bring back Treeborn Tribute, Ryza their monster, it's really bad. They're playing with the same 6 cards they started with for like a very long time. Really, really bad. Okay, so game 2. So your hand is like not the best. You really only have like one thing that you can do, which is exactly what you did, was set up for a Caius play and like hope to God that his hand isn't something crazy. Also hope that he doesn't have Heavy Storm, which a lot of games come down to like, yeah, I have to play in a heavy, and if he hasn't, I wasn't going to win anyway. I don't think that you were going to win this anyway, right?
Nope. I had to play into it. So here I wanted to attack for 600 and tribute for Sorako to set up for a deck dummy.
Yes. So you do this, which is I think that so this is very telegraphed to Ronick that like this back row is more than likely Duck Devastation Virus, and you're blatantly setting up for it. But at the end of the day, it's like, okay, like what's he gonna do?
I have to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. He gets rid of it.
Yep.
So pulling the rug happens here. Really, really good. But your hand is still dead. So here it's just like, let's play the waiting game. And here comes the Raw Unifrog. Raw Unifrog is actually a god card. Unifrog off of Substitute is just oppression food. Like if he drew Substitute instead, you would be like, okay, I'll just negate that and then continue. But the fact that it's Raw draw it is like crazy. So this was pretty good for you. And then here's where things get bad. You do not actively right now have an out to this guy. In fact, this is like really, really bad for you. Like this is so bad right here.
So bad.
Yeah, Light Darkness Dragon is a god card. Like when it drops at the right time, like literally now, it is a god card. So you set Oppression, set Fossil Dyna, and right now the situation looks dire. But if you know how to play around Light and Darkness Dragon, there are things that you can do to make it where this isn't.
All right.
Yes.
Let's see if the viewers can catch this. Like, so look at the grave.
Yep.
Look at what's set.
Yep. So the play is clearly to activate Oppression Chain Link 1. Light and Darkness Dragon will activate as Chain Link 2, and then you can chain Necrogardener as Chain Link 3. And because Light and Darkness Dragon has already been activated, it can't activate again. So Necrogardener will resolve. Oppression, unfortunately, will get burned here. So let's see. So you do exactly that. So Oppression does get burned. But what it does is it negates this attack, and you get to keep the Fossil Dyna, which when it's flipped, it does activate. So it lowers this guy again.
Yep.
So now he's only 1300, and when you activate, once you activate Armageddon Knight, it goes down to 1300, which means that Armageddon Knight can clear it. And even though you don't get his effect, I think clearing this with the Dyna is insane, because now you have pressure, you have tribute fodder for Caius next turn, and you have 3 darks in circulation, like with this and the Caius and stuff for the Dark Arm, just in case things go like really wrong.
Right. And this play couldn't have done like, it had to be exactly this play.
Yeah.
Because if you set Armageddon Knight, you want to have gotten an additional 500 down for Light and Darkness.
Right. That's actually true. The Fossil Dyna flipping and having an effect like that was very specific.
And here, play around Mirror Force.
Yep. And yeah, so I think at this point you're clearly saying like, I don't think you have anything besides possibly Mirror Force, and yeah, it's just GG. Fossil Dyna is literally the best card against this deck. So he basically scoops after you dust shoot. Okay, so game 3. So it all comes down to this. He has Raw Unifrog again, and you have Mirror Force Oppression again. So this game is like really funny because it's a mirror of basically what happened game 1. Like very similar, even the Dupe Frog, because I think game 1 he also had Dupe Frog and you attacked it. So you guys have the same cards somehow. So you go set Oppression, which again, I think that this is a totally fair thing to do. And you have Gores, so you don't really want to like have a bunch of back row, right? Like you don't want to have a ton of back row and have Gores at the same time. It's kind of awkward.
Right.
But of course, the Raw Unifrog is the only thing that punishes this. Literally, if he has Substitute, you are Gucci, and there are 3 substitutes. So playing the math, like your back row is really good, but because he just keeps having the fucking Raw Unifrog, it's actually the worst case scenario. So he gets a free +1 here, and he went first. So you're down cards at this point. But you do have Gores, which I think is one of the best cards against. It's one of the best cards against frogs. So he immediately attacks for 1,000, and you do drop Gores on 1,000, and then this guy can still attack directly. So that's fine.
Which is fine.
Yeah. The important part is that you drop the Gores because you have nothing else going, literally. So this is like all you have. So go for Caius, and there's some debate here about what to banish. But I think clearly like the Dupe Frog is probably the most problematic, and this thing's in attack mode. And you just have to hope that like his back row is not anything crazy. So it's just a Wing Blast, which me personally, I do not like having to Wing Blast a Caius. I think that that is one of the worst feelings in the format. It is really, really bad when you have to do that, but sometimes you literally do have to do it. It just sucks is what I'm saying. Like I hate doing that. And yeah, Unifrog is still there. And I think that the reason why he prevented that attack is just because of the pressure of Unifrog is like so insane. And usually people won't even set a back row, which I think that's what he wanted. I think he wanted you to not set a back row.
Luckily here, DD Krog took that out.
And then he has Soul Exchange to even if he doesn't have Treeborn. So this is really bad again. Because, yeah, you're top decking a Caius, and your back rows are Mirror Force and Pulling the Rug, which literally don't do shit against the current situation. Like, it's actually crazy that you're going to win this game looking at where it's at right now, like at this very moment, because it's so bad right now. Like, you eat 28, you draw another Caius, so this is awful.
Another 28.
Yep, another 28.
Out of break control range.
Yep, so now you can no longer brain control or anything like that. You can't pray for oppression anymore if you had any as well. So here is where you have to make some magic happen. You literally have to make magic happen right here. So let's see what happens. So you set the Armageddonite, and he's going to continue doing what works because all his attacks have gone through in the last couple turns. He's not afraid of anything, but you do now have 3 darks, and I think he also checks your graveyard and realizes the same thing, or he just knows that's your 3rd dark. So he does set a back row now, and you do drop the Dark Arm. So here's where another cool Light and Darkness Dragon tricky play comes in, because you have Return set, you have some Dark Monsters in grave, and you have priority with Dark Armed, and this guy can only negate Dark Arm's effect on priority. So you go activate effect, banishing the Armageddonite, and target the Light and Darkness Dragon, and then obviously it's negated. Then he goes, so this goes Chainlink 1, Dark Arm, Chainlink 2, activate Light and Darkness Dragon, Chainlink 3, activate Regeki Break, targeting the Dark Arm. So this is really good on Rawneck's part. Like, he's doing what he's supposed to do. This is exactly what he expected. This is why he set this all of a sudden. But the return is actually insane. So you think about it for a second and you realize, like, all right, I can return my Armageddonite, and from here, at the time, I guess you thought that Armageddonite could activate here, but I think he reminds you that it misses timing. So at the end of the day, it looks like you intended to just tribute for Caius anyway. In hindsight, since Armageddonite doesn't get its effect though, if you went Summon Dark Arm, banish Gores, right? Activate target the Light and Darkness, then this guy would be at 2300, and he goes Regeki Break, all the same, and you go Chain Return, bring back Gores. Gores comes out and literally can just attack over Light and Darkness, and so he's going to get a Swap Frog, and then you could go main phase 2, tribute the Gores for Caius and banish this so he doesn't have this on the field. So that's like one of the minor optimizations here, is that your banish could have been the Gores instead. Yeah,
it's something definitely like really hard to think of.
Yes, it's obscure. It's very obscure.
Really obscure.
And not to mention, you did think that Armageddonite would activate there, which I understand, because I don't know if I knew that that works that way as well, because you summoned it as like Chainlink 4 or something.
4, yeah.
Yeah. So here's a Caius.
Here.
Yep. Got the pull of the rug. You actually just can't take any more. You're at 300. This is wild. Now, here, this is why I hate Fossil All I'm going to say is, as a frog player, Fossil keeps me up at night, because things can only go, like, he feels very comfortable here. If I'm Rawneck, I feel like, what could go wrong? Like, literally, what could go wrong, right?
Yeah. Like, he didn't even set differential because he's like, what could go wrong?
Yeah, he's like, what could go wrong? Oh, God, everything goes wrong. I drew the worst
possible card for him.
Everything goes wrong.
Just 36. Practically half life.
Literally half his life for free, like for the free. So now he obviously, like, you know, walls up. And I like that he kept the torrential here. He's like, you're not going to summon again. You already have 2 monsters, but I do need these battle traps to get me through the day. So He's like, no more damage. Also, just pitches the Gores because he realizes I'm probably not going to get value out of this damn thing.
Yep.
So he dealt with your aggression perfectly. Like, and now he's literally back in the driver's seat. I would say, like, no question, he's back in the driver's seat here. This is crazy. The Substitute here is insane. The only thing that saves the day here is like you have Mirror Force, because this would have been so bad. So you kill the flip flop, it bounces the Sirocco. He goes for game. You're like, nah. Attack the token, set the deep prison. He has heavy. So he literally heavy storms just to guarantee that like nothing goes wrong with setting this, like no solemn judgment or anything like that. Also, I just realized something. You do not play solemn judgment.
Oh yeah, that's true. I don't play solemn.
Yeah, you don't play solemn. So I know you used to play solemn. In your old list at top, you play solemn, right?
That's true.
So what's that about? Why don't you explain why you're not playing solemn anymore?
All right, so it's very simple. Shout out to Dimitri.
Yep.
Who won RBET rulers.
Yep.
I don't want to pay 4,000 life points.
Oh, you don't want to play 4,000 life points, huh?
I do not want to play 4,000.
Unless you're winning the game.
The only card I want to play 4,000 life points for is return.
Yep.
That's
you're winning the game on the spot. I get it. All right. So anyway, back to the replay. So here he heavies and sets torrential, which is like, you know, fine. And I think that your play here is good because one Treeborn's banished. So you're basically saying if this Caius resolves, there are no more Treeborns. Yep. And I think that non-hero frog builds of frogs have a very hard time when they don't have Treeborn access. Like they suffer more to losing Treeborn than hero frogs does. So he happens to have the torrential, which is worst case scenario.
Yeah, this whole replay is a bunch of worst case scenarios.
Yes, it's crazy because he doesn't have any more frogs in deck. Otherwise, you would have been dead. If he had any frogs, he could just go summon substitute tribute for literally any frog, but he doesn't have any more frogs. And I think this is because he only plays 2 swaps. But if he had a 3rd swap, it would probably be sent to the graveyard anyway earlier when he did combo. So these are the 2 worst cards in his deck right now. These are literally the 2 worst cards in his entire deck. I'd be willing to bet there is nothing worse than these 2 cards out of these 17, or I guess 19 total. So you allure and get nothing. So you just lose to anything right here, like a monarch. Yeah, like you lose to anything. He draws a number guy that's only 100. This is hilarious.
Yeah.
So yeah, you survive. This pops the substitute.
Magically trade.
Yep. And
I mill nice.
You mill godly, like absolutely unhinged godly, because the Necrogarna is so vital in you winning this game. It guarantees that you can put shit in attack mode and not have to think about it.
Yep. Necrogarna was MVP.
It really was, though. Like, Garda did the most. Controls Mirror Force. So here you're like, all right, this is lethal, and I still get to keep the Dyna.
Yep.
Yep, he's still just drawing. This is
for 25.
Yep. Put him down to 100.
And it's another card, because, well, and that's the game.
So you finally beat Ronak, the best frog player in the world, basically. And that's a really big accomplishment. That's a really, really big accomplishment there. So that was your first that was your first match of top 8. Fucking insane. You lost game 1 and had the backdoor. Moving on to top 4, you play against Blackwings. And this was a controversial match for people who are watching the stream. This was very controversial because it went into time. But we're going to see exactly how this plays out because I have some opinions on the way this set went. So you lose the die roll again. So you are 0 for 2 in die rolls in top 8. End phase, hit the dust. Okay, so you have bottomless, which is actually pretty good against Blackwings for obvious reasons. So bottomless keeps them off of blizzard targets. Greffer is amazing here.
Yep, gets some pressure in.
Yeah. So right here, you are very weak to Ashura. But I mean, there's nothing you can really do about it. You just have to hope that he doesn't have it, and he doesn't have it.
I was weak to Shura, but Dark Arm coming down, like kind of like he's okay. So it kind of like trades favorably with that.
Yep. So here you have a Dark Arm that is going to also get a +1. So you'll take the 2 for 1. It's like it's fine.
Yep. So here, my opponent did not deprison.
Yes.
Because they wanted to summon their own Sirocco.
Yep. They're like, I can kill this Armwing with my Sirocco, assuming that there's no back row. or that the back row isn't real, I guess. But it happens to be the second copy of Bottomless Trap Hole. So really, as a Blackwing player, like I remember when I used to play the deck all the time, the worst feeling is obviously your opponent having double Bottomless. So he's like, all right, I don't want to take any more damage. He's at 1 dark. So this looks like Icarus attack, kind of.
So I was reading Icarus.
I also kind of just would assume it's Icarus attack here.
So I also wanted to keep him off more darks and like potential arm wing in the grave because he had a Sirocco in the graveyard.
Yeah. Like obviously he's telegraphing Kalut as well, but like a 2200 value is like okay, like not really that big of a deal. So Rekko trades with Destroyer. So here is where he is getting closer and closer to his goal of dropping Dark Arm. It's crazy because I think that overall the cards you drew this game are so much better than like the cards he drew. Like you guys both drew Dark Arm, but other than that, I think that your card quality is insane. Like double Bottomless and like Allure, Dakai's, like everything here. Like it's actually crazy that like the way this game ends up turning out. You do have the return here. Now, this is where we talked about this a little bit. Yeah. You set the deck Devi, and it's kind of, and I get it though, because it's kind of like, all right, I'm setting deck Devi because if I return, I can also activate deck Devi, and it'll do the most. But in hindsight, and maybe even during this actual game, I think that you could have probably like just set return to potentially play around this. Also, there's a bit of consideration that this might be like pro heavy just because of the way the game is going, and like he doesn't really have much going on. But you end up committing both, and he has the perfect punish for you committing both. Like literally, this is the perfect punish. It's like, not only do I get rid of return, which would have been absolute game, no question, which he could not have done if you just had return set, but he also drops Dark Arm of his own. This gives you exactly 1 turn to draw Brain Control. Like you need to draw Brain Control right here, right now. And I mean, I guess Burial will also do it. So you have outs. Like you have cards that you could draw right now that will out this. And if you just set return, MST is gone. Heavy Storm is not, but he had a back row. So like, is he going to heavy his back row to do his play? So you draw dead, and he does have Blizzard.
That's okay.
Yep. So that was a little unfortunate, the way that played out, but this game, your hand is really good against Blackwings. Like this is one of the most anti-Blackwing hands I've ever seen. Like you just have so many anti-Blackwing things going on here. So he took a very, very long time to make a play. As you saw, he like shuffled 3 times, and the amount of time that passed, like if you're watching this live, if you go to Keegan's stream on E3 Yu-Gi-Oh, you watch this live, there was a lot of time that passed here. And I was watching the stream myself, and I was like, what is happening? Like, are we lagged out or something? And so eventually you say, hey, do you mind speeding it up? And he's like, you have 4 back row. So it's like, okay, I get that I have 4 back row, but at the same time, like, I don't think that means that you could just, you know, take as long as you want because I have 4 back row. Like you just kind of still have to play at a reasonable pace. So yeah, this game, you know, he ends up playing heavy, you Starlight Road, you dust, and this is really funny. You're gonna dust, hit a D prison, and then MST, and surprise, hit another D prison. So once you see 2 D prisons, it's like this is Stardust probably wasn't going to attack.
I was never attacking.
But now,
even if I hit 1, I was never attacking.
But with double, is like, well, I don't believe you have a 3rd one. So this is an awkward torrential. I actually think that, like right here, you're in a very awkward spot because this isn't real defense. And if he has Icarus attack here, which he does, I think that Icarus attack would be like really good against both of these. But you go to main phase and nothing happens, so it's like, all right, flip and flip. And here it's like, okay, Icarus attack here is also pretty good too. Still doesn't happen.
Nope. This person held on to Icarus for a very long time.
So I do want to say, I think that Back to Bando played this game phenomenally. Like, I think that he played really well because he has a lot of patience.
Yep, I agree.
Rekko. Targeting a random back row. So there's the trade that he wanted. Now you milled. I've seen you mill these 2. You milled them again. This Necrogarna, like you said, MVP. This might be the best card in your deck. Like high key. I feel like this card has done so much for you in terms of giving you extra turns and making your opponents play differently. Like when we saw Ronak have to use Soul Exchange as opposed to just like tributing for Kaias. It makes people burn cards. It makes people play differently. It makes people like, it's really insane what this card does.
Yeah, I remember a quote from you, or rather Silverman. If you can make your opponent play awkwardly, you're going to win the game.
Yes, that originally came from Sean McCabe, which I say it now as well. But anytime you can make your opponent play their deck in a way that is unconventional to the way it was designed to play, then you pretty much win the game when you can start to do that. Anything that pushes your opponent out of the comfort zone of what their deck is supposed to do usually will win you the game. So here you're like, I just want to do 4,000.
Yep.
You know?
And I'm not really scared of Shura because of Necrogara again.
Yes. That's so crazy. You have a snowman just chilling and you're like, and you have a Greffer. Both of these are Shura food. But because you have Gardner, you genuinely do not care. If you did not have Gardner, he could just go Shura, attack, get... He can't get Gale. But he can go Shura, attack, get Vayu, Synchro, make a guy bigger, and then he's just Gucci. Like...
Yep. Well, they can't, so they offer this play.
Yep.
And I allow this because I could just run it over.
Yeah, there's no... It doesn't really do anything for him to take this, unless he's, you know... He could have used the effect, I guess, discarded Sirocco, sent Vayu to grave. He chose not to.
I would have used the effect.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I would use the effect as well, but I'm sure he has a good reason. Like I said, we both agree that he's a pretty decent Blackwing player. So,
yep.
Sets Cross out as a bluff, and you Dust Tornado it. So now he didn't attack last turn because he was afraid that this was a D prison or something. I think that's really interesting because you draw D prison.
Yep.
That is hilarious. Let's see if he continues to not attack. And he's like,
and he continues not to attack. So very good resilience from this player.
Yeah, because I don't know if I would have been able to hold myself together after seeing that your back row wasn't real and I could have attacked last turn. But
right, especially since this player is at 400 life.
Yeah.
Lots of resilience, which is why I made that play earlier to like deal 4,000, take him out of breakable range, make him play different. All right, that's it.
Yeah. So they finally get the heart to attack. Unfortunately for them, this is the worst time to attack because you have a hamster and de-prison now. So this guy gets de-prisoned. This guy gets hamstered. And I feel like at this point, the game is just like, obviously you have to play around Kalut. So that's the one thing here is like Kalut is really scary. So you decide to pop the monster, not the back row, because Kalut would be disastrous.
Yep.
Yeah. And you attack.
He's still playing around Mirror Force.
Yep. Yeah, very well played by you and him. I think you guys both played that game really well. So this is game 3, and this game was so fucking cool to watch. This game was insane. Watch what happens here. This is such a cool opening. So he goes set, double Yada, and deck Devi. And you go summon Trooper first to see if anything happens. Now, by anything, because the fear is that if you play Heavy Storm, right, things could go wrong. One of the things going wrong could be he chains something like Trap Dash Shoot, because it's very possible that if they're playing like this, you know they're on Yada, like you know that they play that card. You know that there's no way Heavy's resolving for like everything and realistically. So summoning the Trooper here is a way to be like, all right, I don't want to get Dust Shooter because I don't have any other thing that I want to do besides Brain Control Caius, and you want to hold that as long as possible, right? So yeah, this was really interesting opening to the game. All right, and then after you mill Plague Sweater Zombie, here we go, Heavy Storm. Double Yada. So that means that this is actually a 1-for-1. This Heavy Storm is actually just MST now. It is literally just MST. So that was amazing. Again, really good play from him. I mean, you know, he drew the hand, you drew the heavy. So you guys kind of set up for this fucking storyline game. Has a second deck Devi. He opts to not summon Sirocco here or set it or anything. He's like, I want to get this off the field with the least amount of resistance, get under a bottomless trap hole. Yep. And that happens to be exactly what you have.
Yep. I think that was good play around from him, from this person, because anytime a Trooper gets to mill again, it's pretty disastrous.
Yes.
And it's probably just safely set up for the next play, which is good.
Yep. So a lot of back rows now because Heavy's gone, so he doesn't have to worry about that shit. Double D-Prison set. So last game he had double D-Prison as well, but you had a Stardust. This time he's just double D-Prisoning just because you don't have Heavy. I want to say this. This is a little scary having the double D-Prison set because of Dark Arm Dragon specifically. This like you could get blown out if Dark Arm drops at any point against this shit.
Yeah, if I had Dark Arm here, I would drop it.
Yeah. So he
here,
sees that you have brain control Kai's. Yeah, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Yeah. So here, they activate in response to my bottomless for the Sirocco, which is good. And it's set up for display, and they opt to summon Arm Wing, even knowing that brain control Kai's.
Yes.
So,
now, at the same time, you guys are getting very close to time. You reveal return for deck devastation virus. So now he knows you have this exact. He sees all 5. He knows all 5, right? His back rows are just double deprison. So you obviously go brain control, attack, and to my surprise, he takes the 2300. Now remember, you guys are close in time, and he knows you have Caius's. Like he's well aware that Caius is like the cards in your hand, but he does not deprison this attack. And he knows he's not getting this back. Like you're obviously going to Caius. So this is very interesting because he also knows you have Plague Spreader zombies in your graveyard. It's very blatant, and Plague Spreader in a weird way dodges deck Devi because you can like stack the Caius, and on your following turn when you draw, you reveal Caius. Like, I didn't get deck Devi this turn. So this is like really good for you that he did not like do anything. Yeah, I think this played out so well because now you can make Stardust and set these with immunity. Like you can't now these can't be popped by like a random Dust Tornado, MST, or Heavy Storm. So this is where things got a little out of hand because I believe time gets like called really soon after this. So like he attacks, you use Necrogardener, and it makes sense to use Necrogardener here because you have the return on your draw phase. You flip over the Caius that's on top of your deck for decks, the reveal to him. So he sees that. And here is where you call a judge just to make sure like how much time you guys have left. And this is because for this RBET, they are doing Konami's policy for the time rule. So that means that when time is called, the game goes to end of phase. So like if you're in main phase and time is called, you do not get to go to battle phase. On top of that, you have Return from Different Dimensions set, which if you activated it, it will put you below his 3,200 life points. So it's kind of one of those things where it's really awkward because like Return is broken here. You can do a lot.
Yeah.
Like you can go Return, bring back these two, tribute the Necrogardener for Caius, target this guy. Yep. He can chain Bottomless. You do have a Stardust, and you'll still have a Plague on the field too. So like you'll have Caius plus Plague against his just deprison, and you can make another guy. So this is like a really interesting situation because you have complete control of the game right here. Like if the game continues as it is right now, I feel like you do win the game just based on like what I'm seeing. Like these cards against this specific setup is like, I just don't see a way to get out of this. You're going to get your Gardener back too. Like if you return here, you get your Gardener back, you tribute it so it goes to grave, you summon Kai's, you banish, he takes 1,000, so he goes to 2,200. That's happening no matter what. He has a choice to use Bottomless or not. If he uses Bottomless, you didn't have a choice. Do I want to negate with Stardust, or do I want to say fuck the Kai's, I don't need it, and just continue to like go the way you are? I think that you will probably negate with Stardust. And then you get to make another level 8, and I don't know what's in your extra deck. But
it would be Thought Ruler. This. You will probably just go back to the deck list real quick.
Oh yeah, I do have it up, don't I? So yeah, you actually do play Thought Ruler Archfiend. That's fucking crazy. And if you guys are getting close to time, which is, it was very known that you guys were getting close to time, if you make Thought Ruler here, you just gain 2,000 life points. So that's kind of wild.
It would be banished by Caius. So he would take.
He would just take game. Yeah,
it's more for a game shot because it's 2,700. Since he'll be at 22.
Yep.
2,200. And look at here. He probably would have bottled in response. If he didn't, well, that's fine too. And then time for 27 for game.
Yeah, it's just GG, like literally. So it's this game, the way it's just going, I feel like there's no way with it's specifically you having this fucking Gardener back, and you get your Plague back too, is also kind of wild. Like you get these two cards back, which are just graveyard resources against Blackwings. You have a Stardust coming back on an end phase, and another level 8, and you do play Thought Ruler Archfiend. I don't know if all Value Turbo decks play that because I'm not like familiar with their extra deck all the time, but Thought Ruler is actually really, really good in this scenario and in like a lot of scenarios, I feel like. So yeah, I don't think that you were going to lose this game, but a judge does come and you guys have like this exchange, and he's like, I need a judge. Like, why? He's like, you say to verify how much time is left, and he says convenient to ask now, which I thought was funny because you asked him to speed up here. Like,
Right.
like, do you mind speeding up? So you are aware during the whole set that like I don't think that this game is going at a reasonable pace. I do want you to pick up the pace of the game because it's just taking a while to make some decisions. So then he gets mad at you for asking how much time is left, but it's like, bro, I've been talking about time since we've gotten into this game, and it's been taking a very long time to make plays. Like, what is going on here? So I just think it's interesting to be mad about this. I think that this is I mean, obviously you're salty you lost. I would be salty to losing time too, but if you don't want to lose in time, you probably just have to play faster, and that's just what it is. Like, that is literally, I don't know what else. Like, that's just what it is. So
It's just what it is. I was just invoking my player's right to verify what time it is, because in these online events, it's really hard to check for time because you're so focused on the game that a lot of things are just kind of like out of your memory, and it's always good to like keep track of like what you can or cannot do in a scenario.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. And again, you're the person who was asking him to play faster and not the other way around. So I just feel like he's like, oh, you have 4 back row. I was like, okay, I do have 4 back row, but you're taking a good amount of time to think, and yeah, the clock is going down. So you can't complain. You can't play slow and then complain when you go into time and lose in time. Like, it's kind of, you can't have it both ways, right? I just feel like you can't have it both ways. But back to Bando. Solid Blackwing player. Congrats on the top 4. And yeah, the judges say that the match is over. So that's the end of this. Okay, now moving on to the finals. You are up against Pina, who is a frog player. Most of the time, I'm pretty sure that they play frogs. And yeah. So this is Hero Frogs specifically. You finally win the die roll. So let's start there.
Finally win the die roll.
You win the die roll when it matters the most. All right. And your hand is fucking nice. So you summon, so why did you do this like that? You summon Greffer first and pitch value.
So I did this first because I want to thin my deck. I think it's always important to, wherever you can, thin your deck as much as possible. Even though people say, oh, the draws don't matter that much in Value Turbo, you kind of like want to have them in your grave. Like, no, that's not true. You want to have as much draws as possible to influence your decision. I
tend to agree. So, okay, you choose, so you could send Necro Gardener here. You choose to send the full combo here, which I think is fine. Necro Garden is also fine, but you intend to allure away this value. So in theory, it's like, yeah, I could send Necro and then like allure and get rid of Gores, and then next turn, if this guy survives because of the Necro Gardener, you can like pitch the value and then send the Sirocco that way or whatever. But I think this is totally fine.
Yep, I definitely wanted to keep the Gores because if he goes for a preemptive Kai's play, banishing the Dark Refer, at least have Gores for backup.
Yes, Gores is really good against frogs. Like, one of the best cards against the deck, honestly. So here, they just do a simple setup, no Stratos. Stratos was the only thing here that would like be annoying for you to deal with because it just beats over Greffer, takes away all your aggression, and it's a +1. And then it's a +1 when it beats it in battle too. So it's just like, Stratos would be very good right here, but instead he just has Swap Frog, so thank God.
Yep. And then he goes for 1-for-1 play.
So here he goes, summon Swap Frog with Substone's effect, activate the effect to send. And when he does this, you have as response to Torrential. So he was going a little fast here, which I get. The Frog combo is like really tedious. But you Torrential on the activation of Swap Frog's effect to like clear this. I was watching this as well when it was happening live. So he puts that back. Yes, this is very important. So he puts that back.
This is very important to Torrential at this specific stage because Substitutes do not have priority to activate the effect.
Yep. So he chooses to put back the sub in his deck that he sent originally and instead send a Dupe Frog to the grave. That's interesting. I wonder why that is, because I wouldn't mind drawing another Substitute here. I mean, I guess if you have to send something, you don't want, okay, so I guess, let me think. If he doesn't want to draw this Dupe Frog, and he has to send something because he activated the effect, right? So he has to send something. So his choices are probably Dupe, Substitute. And he's like, yeah, I will send the Dupe Frog. Okay, it makes sense now. He's sending the Dupe Frog because he'd rather have his deck be 1 sub, 1 dupe than be like double dupe, because drawing Dupe Frogs is ass. Yep. It's just not very good. So this makes sense now. I just had to think it out. I've been playing a lot of Tengu lately, so I've not been playing as much like Edison Yu-Gi-Oh as I used to, especially, yeah, like we don't have a local anymore.
No, check out Frazier's video. Frazier rules his locals.
Okay, so here, the exact thing that you set up for, which is him Kaiusing you and then playing right into Gores, literally happened. So here you end up getting a huge token, which is like so good. And you're in the driver's seat. You're like definitively in the driver's seat too. So you're like, fuck it, you don't have Mirror Force. Like I just don't believe you. And yeah, they do not have Mirror Force. So this was great.
At this point,
yeah,
they have a Unifrog, a Tree Reborn Frog coming back, and unbundling cards.
Yep.
Which is crazy.
Yes. So it's kind of funny because it looks like throughout the entire top 8, all your opponents just have raw ass Unifrog. Like none of them do it off of Substitute ever, which is so wild because it's literally a one of, and it's not a card that, like, as a Frog player, you don't want to draw Unifrog most of the time. Like most of your hands where you see Unifrog, you're kind of like, oh, that's kind of annoying. But every time they have it against you, it's been fucking fantastic.
Yeah, that was lucky there because that would have ended the game.
Oh, this return would have been GG no re.
Yep.
Like it wouldn't even have been close. If he did not have Unifrog there, I feel like you won the game on the spot. So yeah, you pop the Treeborn attack, and then I think here you do not attack with Raikou because you're like, I don't want to get Gorzed.
Nope.
So they go draw, summon Alias. And because they know that you're afraid of Gorz, they're like, well, I'm not setting MST. Also, there's no reason to set MST when you're playing frogs in a situation anyway, although I have seen people do it. Stop setting your MST so much, but yeah. So he's like, I'm just going to continue to make you believe I have Gorz.
Here at this stage, I don't care about Gorz because I'm going to make
Armor Master. Yep. And you have your favorite card, Necrogarden, the best card in your deck, and it's not close. It just gives you so much protection because you're kind of low, like high key. Like your life points are pretty, and you have this guy in attack mode, so like you're in a awkward spot. But he draws Junk Synchron, which is actually a fucking great draw here. Miracle Fusion would also, does he have a hero? Yeah, so Miracle Fusion would have been a great draw as well.
It wouldn't have been nearly as good as this for the sole reason that when they kill each other, Silver Wind comes out afterwards.
Yes. So this is really, really good.
Yeah, this was really clean.
So you negate this because you don't want to take the damage. So this is, you would take 15 if this attacked over your value, which puts you at exactly 1,000, which puts you in Caius range.
Yep.
And you don't want to risk the game coming down to getting Caius at any point. So you Gardna. Okay, so here you, now at this point, right, your opponent can draw Caius or Miracle Fusion, and either one will be really, really good here against this particular field. Yep. Instead, they draw the worst card in their entire deck, like literally the worst card they could possibly draw. And I've been there because actually it's funny, during this exact tournament, I had the exact same thing happen to me where I drew Trap Dashu as the worst possible card it could be. So you draw for turn, and here's where now the stream went crazy when this happened. You use Brionic, which is like, okay, you win, right? Like the game's over. Everyone can see it. You can do math. You put Brionic in attack, put Value in attack. Value attacks, you know, the Treeborn Frog, the other two coming directly. You know that the back row was in is now in his hand. So there's really nothing to it, right? But you guys are in the finals of one of the biggest Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments that happens. The RBETs are really big. This one was over 200 people. There's a lot of pressure associated with playing in the finals. And I will say for people who have never played in the finals of a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament, especially one this big, like you won't know the feeling of the pressure. Like there is a lot going through your mind. There's a lot of nerves, and a lot of people obviously are like, oh, like colossal throw, like he threw. But it's easy to do that when you're at home in your sweatpants and a hoodie, just like watching some Yu-Gi-Oh on your phone or TV or laptop or whatever. Like it's easy to be like a quarterback when you are not actually in the situation, let alone like the finals of a 200 plus person tournament with some of the best players who have ever played this format. So I just want to say to like everybody who was going crazy, like, oh my God, I can't believe like he threw like that. You know, it happens. Like everyone who's played Yu-Gi-Oh has made colossal misplays. Yours just don't happen to end up on stream. So yeah. Every good player that you know has thrown colossally as well. It's unfortunately what happens. Now this is what I love about Yu-Gi-Oh though, because this is some Yu-Gi-Oh shit. You were the main character today.
I love this. This is amazing.
So your opponent draws the best card they could draw. They draw Caius, right? And Caius clears up everything. Like it literally, you gave them another turn and they capitalized and drew the perfect card to like ruin your day here. But because this is Yu-Gi-Oh and because you believe in the heart of the cards, none of that shit matters.
Bruh.
You fucking
None of
rip,
it matters.
you
None of
rip
it
the
matters.
brain control, which is the best card in Edison format, the most problematic card in Edison format, and it just comes to show you this card super not okay, like the most not okay, and you win. So that's game one. All right, moving on to game two of the finals. So your hand looks really good. Like this hand is just, yeah, this hand's great. Like you have Deck Devi, you have the Sirocco and everything. Like this, like what? Honestly, like what could go wrong, right? Like what could go
What
wrong?
could go wrong?
From your perspective, it's like what could go wrong? This is what goes wrong. Your opponent has not a single thing that gets hit by Deck Devi for benefit. Treeborn is a meme, and the rest of his hand is just like the most traps I've ever seen in my life from a frog deck. So yeah, you hit nothing. So you straight up go -2 here. Like this is just flat out a -2. So they get heavy.
Yep. Get rid of one in the back row.
Brain control. So I'm surprised, but he did deprison the alias here. He was like, I'm not letting you Caius. I feel like you have Caius, and that's why you're doing this. So I'm just going to put an end to that shit right now because he doesn't have any more aggression. So it makes sense. It's just so rare that people will deprison like their own monster because it's just a straight up -1 to do that. But in this particular situation where you're at Stratos is a 2-turn clock, you're exactly at double Stratos' life or attack power. It makes sense, like what he did. Like this makes sense.
So here, I set oppression because Dotsuniro was known from Trapdoshu, so we didn't want to play around it, and I didn't want to set 2 just for the sole fact that Heavy Storm still exists.
Yeah.
So just want to keep it. Just want to keep as many cards as possible. So
yeah,
just set that.
This is actually unfortunate because so you deck Devi for nothing, right? Like you get nothing off of deck Devi ever, and not only that, but the cards he drew off of deck Devi are fucking insane. Heavy and Miracle specifically because they actually counter your whole setup really well. Like you do have a Dark Arm play coming up, and you also have like defense and with oppression and depress and stuff, but Heavy counters that too. So it's like everything that happened here perfectly counters what you have.
So here, I drew a really great monster.
Yes.
Probably perfect.
Yeah, I would say so. I would say that was probably the perfect monster.
And we send our guy.
Yep, there's the perfect guy.
So here, just thinking of trying to like drop.
Yeah, this is awkward because yeah, you attack over the Treeborn and there's a Wing Blast set, and you know about the Gores. So it's if you attacked with Greffer, your opponent would just activate Wing Blast and target the Dark Arm, put it on top of the deck, and then drop Gores, and it would be really bad for you because your life points are so low, and a Gores resolving here is like really scary for multiple reasons. Like you don't know what they like at this point. They're drawing cards that you don't know about because deck Devi's been over. So like you have Gardna plus Deprison, but you know they have Heavy. So if they just Heavy and drop it, like if the Gores comes down and they have Heavy, you pretty much just lose. So here's the Miracle Fusion. Here's the attack. And yeah, it doesn't make sense to pop the 0. You might as well just attack and do 300 damage. You're still in a shitty spot though. Deprison against the known Heavy Storm is like really bad. And I think that this is just the wait for Caius. That's what they're on. They're just like waiting. So you make a play to essentially go Goyo Guardian. Yeah. So this is really well played, I think. Right? It just sucks that you're at exactly 1,000. But I think this makes perfect sense. Like what you're doing is you baited out the Gores in the best way possible, and you made it where you can go into Goyo to take the Gores if he doesn't have anything. Unfortunately, he has, and I don't think that you could afford to wait there. Like I don't think that you waiting and not attacking is going to do anything because eventually, because inevitability is on his side. You're at 1,000, not him. So inevitability is very heavy lean towards Peanut in this situation. So you need to make a play. Like if you don't do anything, he will just win. Okay, this is your hand, game 3. Your hand is fucking cracked. Like this is a really, really good hand. Like it's not like, you know, God tier, but any hand that has Dust Shoot and Oppression in it is like really good. The only things that are missing, right? Like if you want to be like, oh, this is like the God hand, it's like Dark Arm, Burial, stuff like that, Greffer. But any hand with Dust Shoot or Oppression is just like insane.
Yeah, we take what we can get.
Yes, exactly. So you activate Dust Shoot and you choose Dupe Frog. So you see his hand has Substitute, Edge, Raigeki Break, Torrential, Deep Prison, and you have Oppression set. So to me, right? To me, I think that if I'm the Frog player, my opponent looks at my fucking hand and they go, I see Substitute and I am not returning Substitute or the hero, because he only has one hero. Like he only has one hero, and you could have put back the Substitute or the hero, but you chose to put back neither of those things. You put back Dupe Frog, which to me looks really fucking weird. Like even when I was watching this on live, I was like, this seems really strange. Like I would be very concerned that my opponent is putting back my Dupe Frog of all things, which I guess takes a while because you're like, are you there? It's so rare that Trap Dust Shoot hits a Dupe Frog. Like, that is insane. So he ends up going Summon Substitute, Activate Effect, and you Oppression him. And I'd argue that this is kind of blatant. Like, I think that not returning Substitute on Dust Shoot, because like once we saw the Toad, it's like, wait, his hand had Dupe Frog and Substitute in it. So the fact that he's choosing to not return the Substitute tells me that there's probably an Oppression back there, which means that he could have set Raigeki Break in past. Like that could have been a play to play around the Oppression that I would be reading Oppression, and I would set Raigeki Break and hope for the best, like hope to not die at 8,000. You know, that would be pretty insane. But instead, he just summons the Substitute straight up and activates effect and gets Oppression, and that is huge. That is a huge part of this game. So
here I said value because, well, I have too many normal stones. I gotta get rid of them.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you know his back rows are these two because you Dust Shoot it, right? So you know that he has Mirror Force and not Mirror Force, Torrential and Raigeki Break, which both of these cards destroy, and you have double value engrave. So it's like, okay, well, what could go wrong here? This is free damage.
Yep.
So they hit the Oppression. So here you drew Mirror Force, which I think is actually crazy. That was like such a fucking good draw here. Mirror Force is actually a wild draw there because it literally checks this situation. I mean, I guess, you know, any battle trap does it, but it's just crazy. All right, so you draw Brain Control. Here we are again after, you know, game one, Brain Control, and here we are game three.
Now watch this.
MST to known Torrential, so you do notice it's Torrential because of Dust Shoot. Activate value effect. Summon, normal summon, synchro, make Stardust. Activate effect again. And that is game. So in this scenario, it's kind of crazy because even if your opponent has Gores or Battle Fader or something like that, I don't think he plays Battle Fader, but even if he has Battle Fader, or at least not in games 2 and 3, even if he does play Battle Fader or Gores or whatever, like, okay, you attack and then he drops it because he's going to drop it on the first attack since all of these guys are 25. You still have Mirror Force and you have Return.
Yep.
Which I still don't see them winning, even if they have Gores or Battle Fader. And like, it's still a really bad situation because of the Mirror Force and the Return. And like, look at what the hell you have here. Like, this is insane. Kind of funny, you never got to resolve Return in any of these games. You drew it a lot, and every single time you drew it, something just happened where like it never got to resolve. Whether that be Unifrog, whether that be time, whether that be your opponent's dead this turn. But we saw this card a lot in these replays, and it never, ever got to be played. It's kind of funny, but you know, or I guess, no, you used it against Ronick. You used it against Ronick.
Yeah, I did use it against Ronick for that.
The Light and Darkness Dragon thing. Yeah,
Light and Darkness Dragon play.
Yeah, that was insane. But again, congrats to you, OG, on winning RBET Season 3 number 1. That is fucking so cracked. I think that you were the only value turbo player in top 8. Do you know what the top 8 decks were?
Yeah, so the top 8 decks were value, 2 Frog Hero, Plant Frog, DV Hero. I think it's a Psychic, is it zombie build?
And then 2 Blackwing.
And 2 Blackwings.
Yeah. So you were the only value turbo deck in top 8, and you won the whole tournament. This is just furthering the belief, the propaganda that value is the best deck in Edison format. It just keeps on winning. Even when it's the only one in top 8, you beat out 7 other people. A lot of frogs too. This top 8 was like the froggiest. This was a froggy ass. This reminds me of Nationals last year where there were like 3 frogs in top 8. This is a froggy, very froggy top 8. Frogs are a deck that does really good against Value Turbo. Like it can anyway. So it makes sense that like if people keep playing Value, Frogs gets better as a result. And I think both Ronix Plant Frog deck and just regular Hero Frogs do good against Value Turbo. So there's that, you know, there's that. But yeah, congrats, man. This was really cool. This was extremely awesome to see a friend of mine like win one of the biggest tournaments that the Edison community has. And I have no idea what you actually won, but you know, there's always prestige and glory and all that good stuff. And now people have
I don't
to know
either. Well, all I have to say is shout outs to the house.
Yep.
Couldn't have done it without any of you.
Yeah, the house always wins. All of those matches of you playing against, you know, True Hero and me and Stango and Luke Feeney and stuff. Yeah, you've come a long way. You've come a long way. But as always, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I will catch you in the next one. Peace out.